Welcome to my dream game. This is the game I envisioned creating my entire childhood. Okay, maybe it's not my dream game. What is going on, guys? My name is Matt, and I am a new indie game developer, and I've recently been working on a project that I have not come up with a name for just yet, so maybe you guys can help me out with that and figure out a name for this project that I've been working on. But I do want to clarify before we get into the video that this is by no means my dream game. Now, I don't want to speak for everybody else, but if I had to guess, it's not necessarily their dream game, but more so a dream to create games. The only reason why I put that in the title was so you would clickbait it and watch my video. That's called marketing, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Because apparently everybody on YouTube creates their dream game right off the bat. I don't know what's going on with this whole trend, but it's definitely not a smart thing to make your dream game when it comes to your very first game. That is correct. This is technically my first indie game that I have ever created. Now, I am a big fancy college boy and do have a degree in game development, but to be honest with you, the degree barely even taught me how to wipe my own ass. At this point in the video, you're probably like, okay, dude, stop talking and just show us what you actually made. Drum roll, please. And here it is, my video game. Well, this is what it started out as anyways.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now, before you go clicking off the video saying this is absolute dog, I actually have made quite a bit of progress on this game before uploading this video, so it looks a lot better than it does now. I promise you, okay?
You sure about that?
Now, I would like to think that I'm pretty familiar with Unreal Engine. I did quite a few projects back in college. However, it has been quite a few years since I actually did complete college, and I never really touched Unreal Engine since then. I guess the only reason why I haven't is just the overwhelming anxiety, just thinking about how hard a project could actually be. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into game development that you might not be aware of that really kind of pushed me away from game development just because of that fear that I wasn't going to be able to actually do something. Programming, level design, 3D modeling, rigging, animating, music, sound. So much goes into creating a video game that it just seemed way too overwhelming. I guess the only real reason why I'm telling you any of this is really just to have an excuse in case this game turns out to be completely awful. I started by placing a bunch of temporary assets around the map to see if I could actually get something working that I actually enjoyed. I started off by making the ability to have the player have control over where they can place a building anywhere on the map as long as it's not colliding with something else, as you can see here. Now, the idea for my game is to have a mining colony, something similar to Surviving Mars. If you're familiar with this game, it's really just a city manager kind of a colony build game where you control and manage your city, but really everything at the core function of the game is pretty much automated by AI. However, mine is going to be revolved around mining. When I was looking deep into mining games to see if anything like this has already been created, I noticed a lot of the mining games that are out there already are really focused heavily on futuristic mining or space exploration mining, things like that. And what I had envisioned is completely different. I found these low poly assets in the Unreal Engine store that really goes well with the vision I had for my game as a Western style, old school mining town, and I immediately threw these into my game to see what I can get working with. Now, when it comes to artwork and animations and things like that, I will be outsourcing a lot of that to assets that I can buy or get for free or somewhere online. That way I don't have to actually create any of these things. My main focus and my skill is programming. So that's what I really enjoy doing. That's what I really want to focus on. To actually learn how to rig, animate, 3D model, do all of that stuff, it actually takes quite a bit of time to get familiar with programs such as Blender and things like that. So if I could just completely avoid that altogether, now I might have to learn how to do a few things here and there, but I really want to focus on the programming, and that's going to help speed this up tremendously. I know not everybody's a fan of assets, but when it comes to a solo indie game developer like myself, outsourcing to things like this really saves me a tremendous amount of time, and it allows me to create these games a lot faster. I say games like I've created a game before, but I haven't. It helps me hopefully complete the game that I'm working on now a lot faster. I've seen too many horror stories. I watch a lot of devlogs where some indie game developers take years to complete their games, and that's because they're doing everything from sound, animating, the whole thing they're trying to do by themselves. And I don't want to do that. I want to try to get this out in a reasonable amount of time for you guys, for me, my sanity, things like that. So please keep that in mind. That's the reason why I did outsource to these assets, and hopefully save a lot of time doing it. I threw a quick level together, and honestly this turned out really well. It looks very good for what I had envisioned for this game. So honestly, I think this is going to work out. It has pretty much anything that I could possibly need. Because of this, I was actually able to get development on this game moving pretty quickly, honestly, not having to worry about any of the artwork. I started working on the miner's hut, where it would spawn a miner that would come out, walk towards the surface ore that I had. It would randomly generate an ore that it would mine and then go back to its hut, as you can see there. I downloaded a free asset for the animation walk from Mixamo. I was kind of messing around with it here. Here's the next thing I was working on. You can kind of see the miner up there on the rock, but there was a little bit of a collision issue, but at the moment I was just trying to get the miners to go to the nearest rock from where they spawn. This was actually pretty easy, honestly. I just got the distance from the miner to the rock and got the shortest distance rock, and that's the one they choose to go to now, rather than, you know, walking super far away when there's a rock right next to them. So you can see that here. I also managed to put some pickaxes in their hands and give them an animation to mine. This was the best animation I could find that was the closest thing to resembling mining. I might try to find something else in the future, but honestly at the moment it looks pretty good. I'm not too worried about it at the moment. I did get a bit sidetracked and ended up trying to make a tunnel where they can go mine in. Now obviously you can kind of see it there, that wall with the rubble on it. It's a little bit discolored from the rest of the wall. That is the tunnel that they're eventually going to start mining into. Now obviously in the future I'm going to have some animations where they blow into the hole and
what did he say?
That sounded a bit weird. Blow into the tunnel. That's what I should have said. Blow into the tunnel. So I have some dynamite assets and things like that I'll probably add in the future. Honestly, I probably should not have even been working on this at the moment, because this is more of like an in-game or mid-game goal that I have planned. But, you know, I kind of got carried away, so... you might also notice that some of the miners look different. I randomly selected I have it randomly select a skin for the miners, so now they don't all look the exact same. There's some variation in the miners as well. But honestly, it's honestly looking pretty good. I also updated some of the nav mesh, so before I was having issues where if you put a miner hut behind another one, it would collide with the hut and they would kind of get stuck. But now I have the nav mesh constantly updating as the game's going, so they can find the shortest path and walk around objects as well, so they're not colliding with anything, and they shouldn't get stuck on anything either. So I then started to work on my second character. Now the miners go out and collect the ore, but I needed somebody to come into the town to actually buy the ore from you so you can start collecting some money. So I came up with this stagecoach here. These horses were actually a separate asset that I had to go and find. It took me a while to actually find these horses, but they go pretty well with the rest of the game. And then the trading coach is actually, I mean, it fits so well. It literally says trading company on there. So this is going to be our trading stagecoach. So I actually have this stagecoach spawn into the game at a specific time of the day, and he'll make his way into the town. And then from there, I plan on making it to where you can sell things to him. This whole process for this character actually took a lot longer than I'm willing to admit. just between finding the horse asset that fits well within the game, but also the wheel rotation of the stagecoach itself took a lot longer than it should have. Realistically, you would think that the wheel rotation is something that would be super simple, and it probably is if you use things like Blender, but when you're trying to rotate a wheel in Unreal itself, it was actually a lot more difficult than you think. I think it's just mainly due to how the static mesh of the wheel itself is maybe set up. I have no idea, but I did finally, after messing with it for a very long time, find a way to actually rotate it that looks decent. So overall though, this character is pretty legit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and yeah, I can't wait to use him in the future. With the stagecoach completed for now, I just went ahead and went straight into developing the next building, which was going to be the trading post. I want to have multiple variations of each building, so I started with just the level 1 version of the trading post. I was going to make it super simple. So I'm going to do a little speed through of me creating this trading post. Let me know what you guys think about this. If you want me to include things like this in the future, let me know. Alright, here is the final result for the trading post. Now, here is also a little character that I added. I added a little sitting animation for him. I guess that's the trader at our trading post. That's the guy who runs things. So I might make some different changes to this in the future. I have no idea. At the moment, I kind of just threw a bunch of things in here that kind of make sense for a trading post, like a bunch of storage crates and barrels and things like that. Some fruits, sacks, and even some pickaxes, because you know the miners need to buy some things. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty nice. All right, here is the trading coach in action. He spawns in now and will go directly to the closest trading post. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do if I have multiple trading posts at the moment. One of these that you see is just an actor, the other one's just static mesh. So there's really truly only one trading post in the game right now. But as you can see, he kind of pulls up, and then at the end there, he rotates to align with the trading post. So he just parks here, and then from here, I plan on having you sell things to him. Obviously, the trading post can only hold so much, or the stagecoach, I mean, can only hold so much. So this is the early version of the game where he comes in, and he can only hold so much. You can only sell very few select things to him. In the future, I want to have like trains and things come in that you can sell a load of stuff to. But for now, this turned out pretty good, and I'm happy with the way it turned out. I do plan on making a slight few more changes to the stagecoach himself, but for now, I'm going to leave him as is and move on to the next thing. I didn't really know what to work on next, so I just went ahead and made our third building for the game. This is going to be the bank. Now, I honestly didn't even plan on having this in the game, but I saw the assets and I was like, you know what, I might as well make a bank. So at the moment, I think what I'm going to do with this building specifically is obviously have it store your gold that you collect over time, but it's going to protect your gold from random events happening, like maybe some random thieves will pop into town every now and then and try to steal your resources, and if you don't have this building to protect them, you're definitely going to lose a lot more than if you had it. Alright, here is the final result of the bank. Obviously, everything that I've created thus far is honestly temporary. I will come back and probably add a few things. I even added an inside. I don't really know why I did. The only thing I'm not too fond of is this flame here. I gotta find something to replace that with, but yeah, I mean, I put a banker in here, I put the vault in here, but really, the way the game works, I don't foresee you being able to actually see much inside this building, but anyways, I made the inside. Maybe I'll add a function where you can see inside buildings in the future. I'm not too sure. I think that's where I'm going to start wrapping up this video, guys. I really appreciate you watching until the end. If you guys could leave a comment down below what you guys liked in this video, what you guys think about the project, what would you like to see me add to it. Like the video, and please subscribe to my channel. Because I will be releasing more devlog videos on this game, so if you enjoyed it, please be sure to check out some of those as well. If we can get my name out there and hopefully build this channel up, I would be very much appreciated. Thank you again, guys, for watching. I really hope you enjoy it. And don't forget, I still need a name for this game as well, so if you guys have any creative ideas on what this game could be titled, again, comment down below, let me know. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next devlog. Thank you guys so much again.